There's quite a lot of discussion around the best way to train and become the most optimal arm wrestler in the world. But as it is for most things, there is only really one sure way to become extremely skilled and strong at anything. It's not training in one way, it's not a special diet or environment, it's not even drugs. The key ingredient to dominance is practice and time. Combine that with as many of the others as possible and you become even better. But time and practice will get you far ahead of the rest of the pack, even if they have the best of the rest. This is why John Brzenk was so dominant for so long, and why we're starting to see younger athletes emerge at the top level, because they started younger than their competition. Devon entered his first arm wrestling competition when he was 18 years old. He is now 48 years old. There are two main components in which time and practice bestow expertise onto a person. The first of them is experience in a mental and psychological aspect. Technique and understanding of who, what, where, when, how, and every other possibility you can even imagine are burnt into the psyche of that athlete, whether they try to or not, assuming that they have been practicing deliberately for that time. The mind works like a sponge for information, picking up little things here and there you didn't even consciously tell it to. After a point of repetition, things fall into subconscious automatic responses that you don't even need to deliberately invoke. The mind has absorbed those lessons into the much faster automatic response system, much like how you do not deliberately and slowly need to think about snatching the hand back out of boiling water. The second component is the physiological abuse the body goes through during these years of conditioning. If you routinely submit the body to physical stress over a long period of time, like punching concrete every day for years, or lifting a barbell with bare hands, the body responds by growing thicker, tougher defenses so that it can more comfortably withstand that abuse in the future. Wolff's law, as defined by German anatomist and surgeon Julius Wolff in the 19th century, states that bone in a healthy animal will adapt to the loads under which it is placed. And similarly, Davis's law describes how soft tissue remodels in a similar way according to the manner in which they are mechanically stressed. So how would this look in terms of arm wrestling adaptation? The tendons will stiffen and become much more resilient to stress, the joints will strengthen, bones will thicken and grow dense, muscles will become much more densely packed with myofibrils and nuclei, which will allow the body to much more efficiently and quickly send neural signals to and from the muscles to act and react. And especially for arm wrestling, the hands will grow thicker. This will be a combination of the hard and soft tissue thickening and hypertrophying over time, and just like people who have performed manual labor for years and years, the entire hand grows dense and strong beyond typical expectations. In Devon's case, he has essentially been performing manual labor with a very specific goal in mind throughout. Is his training ideal? Well, we don't know what his training is. We've only seen snippets of it that he's chosen to show, but it certainly seems to be at least good enough for his purposes. Do drugs help? Certainly, but again, we need to remember that very often the purpose of drugs is to try and achieve something that we either can't or that would take too long without. You can use anabolic steroids, growth hormone, or all sorts of fancy pharmacology to try and create a facsimile of what the top-level athletes have, and you may even look like a top-level athlete. But you cannot drug your way through time and practice. Arm wrestling is a unique sport because of this. In most other sports at the highest level, athletes when training from a young age will hit a window of peak performance, usually in the mid-20s, and their performance will start to decline as age, injury, weaknesses and slowing down catch up with them. But with arm wrestling, despite these values still playing parts in technique as an athlete ages, the collection of traumas and especially the glacial pace of tendon strengthening allows athletes to continue far beyond where most people would give up. And that is why arm wrestling at the highest possible level becomes more and more a battle of attrition and stubbornness than just strength and explosive power. Of course, this is not factoring in absolutely obscene levels of strength at a young age. And for you, an aspiring athlete, this means that you should not give up just because you are not getting stronger and better overnight. This is a sport where you absolutely need to grind your soul against a dull blade for years, while it seems to take more than it gives. And then you'll find that if you endured that suffering, you'll be one of the very few remaining athletes, and the path to the top will be much clearer for you. But that's it for today, and I'll see you next time.